Can can you hear me now? Hello, hello. Okay, hey Mika, can you hear me? No, you're fine. Um, okay, hold on.
not a whole lot there. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Yes, testing one, two, three. Coffee,
I mean, okay,
green
now you can
tea.
hear me. Okay,
Is
now
that
we should be good.
okay?
Oh,
Great.
you're a
Okay,
gallon
cool.
drinker like
Well,
me. I do
yes.
that
Full
too.
disclaimer: coffee, green tea. Yes, it's a good combo.
You hear Charlie.
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
well,
So,
Charlie, you
okay,
go.
so they hear both of us. We're good to go.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so you tell us what
It's good to
your okay, so basically what I had asked Charlie is to tell us a little bit about Razru, which is what he's the company he's founder, and tell us about himself. So I'm so sorry to make you repeat. I told you I'm also learning on the stream thing. So every time there is an issue, but each
yeah,
stream I get a little bit better. So go ahead and explain yourself and Razru, and then we'll dive in again. So sorry.
yeah. Awesome. I think like first off, everyone in the Twitter community is definitely very excited about like this Twitch. So I think it's good. It's like just keep at it. I think we want it to succeed. So, and right now it's been going great. So, okay. So that being said, with regards to Razru, the big grandiose idea of Razru's human collective intelligence. That's what the mission we keep pushing, which is that we would like for humanity to contribute their knowledge and then to just make it super easy for anyone to go in and to grab it. So let's say as an example, if I know how to build a house, I can just upload information of how to build a house, and the Razor as a tool would be like, let me give you all the tools you need to automatically generate that house. So that's the big idea. And right now, our focus is on code. And what that means is that to get your projects up and running, that's like the base zero for us with regards to code. So I'm able to say, okay, I want to have an AWS project that's using GraphQL. I want to have a Next.js project that allows me to set up my front end. I want to have an npm package for open source. I want to have a VS Code plugin. Whatever you want, so you go to Razru. As long as someone has worked on it and uploaded it into the system, I can click a button and then I can just generate it automatically to my GitHub repo. So super easy to upload, super easy to integrate. The piece that is most difficult with this idea, and we'll get past this soon, is that you need humans to actually upload that data. So we're using a lot of AI right now to bridge the gap and make it as easy as possible to take either existing code you have or existing designs or existing tickets and upload that into the system. But right now we're starting to see a little bit of momentum. We have people that are Raspberry community architects that are joining the Raspberry system. And these people are not being paid any money from Raspberry. They're joining because they want to be a part of it. And we have a revenue sharing program where based on the amount of people that from the subscription that use it and based on the amount of purchases that people have, that we're able to share revenue with them. So we have this really cool human collective intelligence actively underway for code. And then we have a ticketing system that we're actually rolling out in about a week. We'll go into detail with that. And we also have a design system that will be rolling out in about a month. So our goal, once again, is just to have human collective intelligence. And in order for us to do that, we need some sort of user interface at the very least for everything in order to tie it all together. So that's it. And during this stream, hopefully people will be able to see like the beauty of this Raspberry system of what we built, which can just freely navigate around a code base and stitch all these different recipes together and set it up from scratch. So human collective intelligence allow anybody to upload data, and then other people can integrate it automatically, and and then we can just have this human collective intelligence at scale. And there's this blog that I share all the time about why we think it's valuable even in a post AGI world. Okay, grab the dev world. Okay, cool. So, anywho, so that would be yeah, Razru the idea, and that's what we're focusing on right now. So, anywho, so yeah,
Awesome.
that's me. That's Razru, and we can of course answer any more questions. I can also get to coding and whatnot, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that would
want
be
to
it.
see some coding. So I feel like you should spin up your platform and kind of show from the start like
Yeah,
how everything is created and walk us through, and then um, Yeah.
Yeah,
And so if you share, you should be able to share your
cool.
screen in your thing, and then
Great. I'll go ahead and I'll share my screen. Yes, I can. I can share my entire screen. I specifically chose a laptop I use specifically for consulting, so I could just have an isolated Twitch environment. So,
awesome.
okay, cool. So now I'm sharing my entire screen, and
Okay,
people
give me
should
just
see the
let me
whatever.
see. Hold on, I've got to do the screen share. And I'm still learning, so I'm sorry this is going to be a really small screen, so you're going to have to zoom in probably. Let's see if it's showing up. Let's see, it should be. Hold on. Show on manage guests. All right, here we
Let's
go.
see what you're seeing
Show
in
up on
chat.
stream. There we go. Yes, push stream. Okay, come on.
Mm-hmm.
My computer goes a little bit slower whenever. Um, okay, let's see if that
The
worked.
video sharing and stuff.
All right, there we go. We're on, but you're going to probably want to zoom in quite a bit so that everybody can see what we're doing.
Oh, really? Even though this is, can people see my Raspberry
Yeah, that we
Finder
can
screen?
see we can see your screen now, but you'll want to push Control plus plus in the browser just so that it can see because yeah,
Yeah,
there
like
you go.
that.
That's much better. Yeah. It's probably like one or
Okay,
two more
great.
times.
Okay, the only
There
thing
you go.
is, I'm not sure if we've built it for that Zoom use case yet. So this is as good as we possibly can get until before things stop breaking. But okay, that being said, with regards to what I wanted to code to start with, is to work on something that's absolutely cutting edge, and we'll be able to use this with the Raspberry system, and we're also going to use Anthropic, which just released their Cloud API or their Claude 3 API, which has very good. For the first time, it actually has the ability to use its Vision API to allow for content of the images to be extracted. So this would be a very exciting use case. People are learning AI. They're learning about npm packages, setting up things. So within the Raspberry system, just moving past that little introduction, going to this Raspberry system, we have this Finder page where you're able to go and sort of find whatever framework it is that you want. So because I want to create a playground for npm, I selected the npm framework, and I'm going to go ahead and this probably the zoom in look is a little bit better because I believe this page is responsive. So as you can see here, I'm able to now just click on this, and it has documentation of the npm repo. So if it wasn't me and it was someone looking at this for the first time, that might look at this documentation. You can also get a good idea of some sort of what code might be here. So you can peruse the file tree. You can see actually like, wow, this actually has GitHub Actions, and I can see it has tests and all that stuff. This looks pretty great. So next, the beauty of the Raspberry system, in order to generate this code, and being that I'm on my personal, organization here, my personal workspace within Raspberry, shout out to that avatar. So I'm able to now, let's just call this Anthropic, which is Cloud Vision. And we're just going to create a npm repo that's going to allow us to create this Vision npm starter. So now Raspberry system is using this Raspberry GitHub portal, and the beauty behind it is that as long as you're already logged into the GitHub system, it's going to be able to use your existing authentication logic, and it's just going to work. So it's a one click, you just put in the name, and the system's already going to generate that for you and redirect you to your code base. So as you can see, I now have this code base set up. It's actually public. Raspberry makes any personal stuff public, so I'm just going to put in chat. If anyone wants to see the repo, it's actually just been set up in real time. And next, what we're going to do is we're now going to start coding, and we're going to go through this really cool example of setting up Anthropic. So what I'm going to do, we're setting up this Vision AI system. So next what I'm going to
So
do is I'm
just a
just going to
note
go
to
and clone
zoom in to
from
your,
my
after you're
GitHub.
done cloning, when you're in VS Code, zoom in so that everybody can see.
All right, we'll do. Let's see here. So passphrase. So, okay, that worked. Okay, great. That would have been not great if it didn't work. So I will zoom in soon. So let's open up our VS Code here. Okay, I do not have the code command on this consulting laptop, which is totally cool. I'm just going to open up the VS Code user interface. And let's go over to Razru, Cloud Vision. And now we have this code base, which we were able to pull directly from Razru. And it has all these awesome goodies, like once again, this test. If I were to run now just an npm install, which is in the readme.md, if I were to just run, and let's actually just exit out of this. Whoops, wanted to go into the terminal and actually, all right, let me zoom in a tad. Okay, so that should be a little bit better. So now if I want to, and right, once again, not sure why my terminal on this one is giving me a little bit of a problem. I'm going to exit out one more time, and let's open up the terminal again. There we go. Okay, great. So I'm just going to run an npm install. I'm going to just install all the packages that Razru has included within this starter, which has a couple of, Jest, ESLint, TypeScript, all the perfect stuff. So I can just get started here
So
and
question
get
for you.
going.
So
And I'm debating, yeah,
no, so on this, because this is one of the recipes, right?
yeah.
And so who is the one who made this recipe? And can anybody make their own recipes like that they want? And I think you touched on it, but I just want to circle back and make sure I understand.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So the person that created this was me, and the way you're able to do this within the Razru system is you're able to go in. We have a very sophisticated system because once again we built this to be human collective intelligence, where like you can have tens of thousands or even whatever hundreds of thousands of humans. Although I doubt we'll get to that number. There's a lot less builders than users. But you would go into, let's say, an organization. So for this, we would go into the npm organization, and because I own Razru, I have access to every organization, but your average user would usually only see 2 or 3 organizations max. And then what you're able to do is you have this special editing interface within Razru. And um, it sort of has its own learning curve. It's not the most difficult. And once again, we're zoomed in here, and I'm not sure if it's built for that per se. But what you're able to do is you're able to, for instance, upload files. So if you want to just take your GitHub code and upload it to Razru, you're able to just upload that into the system. And then all these files are just there for people to use within this Razru system. And then you can also create documentation on this cool little interface. And we have this AI documentation that we're currently rolling out as well. So you have your AI tools there. And then what you're able to do, which is really cool, is that you're able to then build new recipes that are built on top of the starter. So for this one, it's a command, but if you wanted, you would already have access to the starter that's uploaded into the Raspberry system, and then you can just create new files. So we have this recipe because the way it works once again with Raspberry, where we have recipes and everything's pieced together. So we spent like a million. I like putting it in lines of code because it does translate how much work it was, but easily 1.5 million plus lines of code in order to build the system, so that it would be super easy to just break apart code, upload it into the system really easily, create documentation, and then the user can then go ahead and just generate it like we saw with, like, it was super easy. We just had to put in the name once again, and then it totally customized everything. Like, you used Anthropic Cloud Vision for our name and everything. So just a super easy uploading templating system. And that's why right now we have so much traction with people building on the Razzle platform, because we've built this thing where people that are building on it are saying like, hey, I can actually see there being value of me building on this platform, for either boilerplates or setting up new projects or existing recipes, and actually going back to building on the platform, I don't want to delve into this too much because I know some people here might be interested in the coding side of things more than the platform. But one of the things that I actually might do actually while we're here, sorry, what we might do while we're here in order to push this forward is I'm actually debating of actually building a new recipe book. And for this, I would call it Anthropic um, Cloud. Um, and this recipe book is actually going to be based on NPM. Just to give an example of how easily I can build this, and I'm going to call this a marketplace, and the price is going to be set at 0. And I'm going to say Anthropic uh, Cloud Playground, Playground, Playground to play around with Vision APIs and other cloud APIs. So now, and I'll show why this system is so amazing, is that now that I've created this Anthropic Cloud recipe book, let's just, and now what I can do is you can now start creating recipes. So I'm going to create a recipe, and for this I'm going to say add, for this I'm going to say add whatever, process env. And this one's going to say add environment variables for cloud. And I'll show you very soon why this system is remarkable and will enable us as humans to sort of upload at scale. But now let's create this process env. I'm going to say whatever, just say for description, add cloud environment variables. And almost there, where we're going to see the magic. And now the beautiful thing about the system is because we have a environment, because we have our npm package or our npm community starter that was already set up. If I want to build on Razru, I already have the starter built for me. I already have the initial code. So all I have to do now to add new code into the system, I can just say, let's add a directory. Let's call this env. And then I can create a new file. I can call this whatever, env.ts. And now let's just put in a console log here just as a random file. And we're just going to save this. And we haven't really put in any documentation here or anything like that. But now if anyone wants to go ahead and generate this code, we have this system that's already, oops, looks like I went to the wrong URL there. Let's fix that up. So now if I want to go to this URL, add process env, I'm trying to figure out what's going on there. Let's try that one more time. I'm just going to go to the feature directly, but you can see the system and how it is that it's working. There we go. Which is that we have this file that has been built within the context of this initial npm framework. So it's going to be super easy for me. Within 45 minutes, I can very easily set up this reusable, easy to generate system for people to now integrate cloud or OpenAI or whatever. And anyone, if they wanted to, can come to the system. They can build it. They can sell it if they wanted to. I made this a marketplace. So if I were to go to the marketplace, I believe this would show up. There you go. So we have Anthropic Cloud that shows up right now. It's free, but if I wanted to, I could put a price on it, and someone could purchase it, and then generate that code or whatever. So yeah, that's that system. I was thinking of building it while we were working on this, but I'm gonna sort of get a feel. I guess we'll get a feel for the room of how much people just kind of want to see the coding aspect side of things versus the Razor product. But that would be it. And this is the idea, once again, human collective intelligence. We want to make it super easy for people to upload into the system, make it super easy to integrate. And part of that uploading system of making it super easy is stitching together the collective of all the information that we have. So as soon as someone hits the next rung in the ladder, let's say, I'm now able to use that person's information and the prior person's information or data and just go that much further. So that would be it. Yeah.
So I have a question. So anybody can create their own recipes, correct? But like you have to have special permissions in order to actually create an environment or a community. Is that right?
So we have, very good question. We have two tiers at the moment. There are community members, and if you're a community member, you have to be specifically invited to work on, let's say, Next.js or Vue. And we do that for permissions because if you're a community member, you can potentially delete the recipe for that base framework. So we're very selective about community architects, and we want to make sure it's a high level of quality. But that being said, anybody who wants can actually go into this platform and use existing community code to build their own recipe books. So anybody is actually able to come into the system and actually sell and actually create their own recipe books if they want to. So that is fair
Nice.
game. Anybody can go
Oh,
into the system and build their own thing. The reason we haven't been pushing that too much, like you might think, oh, this is a remarkable system. Like, why aren't you telling the entire world? And part of that is that we have our reasons. It's just part of it is onboarding. We do expect there to be a high influx, so we're trying to get the boilerplates done really well before we move over to that next stage. And then also part of it is that we have some really cool other products that we're currently talking to a lot of people and that they're very excited about. And so we're focusing right now just on the boilerplates, and we're also focusing on this other product launch that we have for ticketing and design and certifications and some other stuff. That's really exciting. But yeah, anybody can
okay.
come in, build their own recipe book, sell it to other people. They can, like, this idea once again of human collective intelligence, where if you know how to do something and you want to transfer that knowledge over in an easily digestible fashion where anybody can just click a button and integrate it, like for instance, this Anthropic Cloud that we're about to do, then Raspberry would be the place versus something, let's say, like GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket. And not to mention, there's also the ability to comment on the code itself. So we do have this whole let's see if we can just go back to the code that I created. But we have, there is a community aspect to this that we're also building out, which is that anybody can go ahead and now comment on my code. So if it's broken, I can just comment and say, this is broken. And then I'm going to get a notification on my phone saying that, I just reported a bug for this or whatever.
Okay. And then
So,
if there are
and
experts
so
who
we're
wanted
building
to
a
be a
community as well.
if there are any experts that wanted to be the community leaders, are they able to request from you directly, or like is there like a form where somebody can request to be a community leader?
Yeah, yeah, it's a very good question. We've had that on the product roadmap for a long time. What we were thinking of doing, I'm trying to make it in as many places as I possibly can so it's front and center. Right now, within the GitHub, let me zoom in a little bit so it's easier to understand. But within the Raspberry community, right now, just to make it super simple, told people like, hey, just message me on charlie@raspberry.com or reach out to me on Twitter via Raspberry Chief. What we are trying to do as well is via the Raspberry Finder page, we are trying to ask people, like, we're trying to just put it within this interface that if someone's on a community framework like Angular, that we're going to have something that says like, hey, do you want to join as a community architect? That being said, like it's actually one of the most, I mean, this was actually something intuitive and we knew it would be this way when we started, but it still nonetheless is remarkable to witness. 5 people can literally carry the entire weight for an entire framework. Like, we're the amount of people that built, like, for Angular, which is our most advanced system. And actually, let me zoom out a tad just so we can see this. Whoops. Angular, which is our most advanced system, we actually have tons of recipe books that are built out for this. This is enough. This is like 4 months worth of work if you're to set up an Angular project. And it took us only 3 people to build this. And the amount of people that can use this is potentially 20, 50,000 people. So for that reason, we haven't really I understand the community aspect, which is obviously something to discuss a bit more, and we want people to feel like they can be a part of this movement of human collective intelligence. But from a productivity perspective and an efficiency perspective, due to the way that this has been built, we usually have like 5 members max for any community at the moment, and these community members are um, they're part of the revenue sharing program, and then the hope is that anyone can then build their own marketplace and also make a respectable amount of money. For instance, this one, which we've pushed a lot, which is deploying AWS or deploying Angular using AWS, which is like server side rendering. AWS has a Docker file, not really easy stuff to know how to do. And for this one, we charge like $200 for this. So there definitely are use cases that we believe in that people will be able to build and to make considerable amount of money, and they don't have to build anything new. They can take an existing code base. Okay, I know how to do this. Let me extract my code, upload it to the Raspberry system, and then start selling that to people. Um, so we're hoping that people can be a part of the system that way. And we are once again rolling out other avenues. So we have this ticketing system, which shout out to the Jira users in the room. I don't know if there are any people, entrepreneurs that have their own ticketing system as well. But we do have this ticketing system that we are going to bring over human collective intelligence to as well. And we also plan on doing that for design. So if you have a bundle of tickets that you want to build, or let's say you have how to set up authentication with Next.js using Versal. And if this was in a product team, it would be 15 to 20 tickets. So we're going to bring the same idea of human collective intelligence to tickets, where I can create 20 tickets, bundle them, and then give that over for free or for money to someone else to just automatically integrate that with their ticketing system without having to write that themselves, and having attachments and being done in the proper fashion with the right amount of code and being versioned and tying that into our coding system. And we also plan on doing that with our design system. So if I want to have a dashboard and I want to have those designs readily available for my team, I can also buy and sell designs, or I can sell designs for other people to purchase.
Oh,
And
that's
we just
exciting.
plan on
I
doing
like
this
that
for
idea.
everything. So design
Okay, so
code and tickets is our first frontier, but yeah.
I have two
Sorry.
questions for you. No, you're fine. Okay, so my first question is you meant we talked about how
Yeah,
somebody
it's
can
a little
comment,
bit
for
choppy, the
example.
audio.
Yeah, okay, well, I don't,
I'm
am I
sorry.
still choppy? I think it's just because I've
The
got
audio
so
is a
much
little
going
bit
on my
choppy.
computer. I'm sorry what to do about it other than close out things on my
Not sure if it's
computer.
me or for everyone else, but audio a bit choppy.
It's me.
Is that
Oh,
me?
it's not me?
It's
Oh, okay,
okay.
well that's
Gotcha.
good. Maybe it's just like our connection. I'm not sure. Okay, so my first question is, so I saw that you mentioned you had you can comment on code, right? So whenever there's a package, if there's a bug or whatnot, you can comment and then you'll get a notification to your phone. How do you make sure that initially there is as little bugs as possible in the code provided? Like, so if there's a popular package, right, and
Mhm.
there's a huge error and people are
Right.
downloading it, I mean, is it kind of just a like you have to trust the creator for it, or is there a way to make sure, or is there some type of like some type of holder in check or tester in check to make sure that as few bugs as possible gets out? And I know that's not going to be 100% all the time, but what is done to make sure that the code is as clean as possible, and error free as possible?
Yeah, it's a great question. So first and foremost, we tackle this. Um, we tackle this on 4 levels. One of them is that because you're basing your code off of the existing Raspberry starter, so number one is that you're using already pre-built, pre-QA'd code quality. We do quality assurance. Number three is that the system is specifically built to make it so that it's to make it so that this entire system is very has high quality. For instance, we have this thing called create symlink, which you're able to take an existing step or feature and actually just pull that code in to base this new code on. I'm trying to find and see if we have a system here that we could use that I can prove this concept. This would be like the second rung with quality assurance. So yeah, hopefully people in the room are enjoying this presentation. If you want me to get back to coding, by all means, I'll go back and show Vision, this Vision API with cloud and how to extract information from an image. But I'll continue with this presentation. With regards to quality, once again, we have this thing called Symlink. So actually, right now, what's going on here is that we actually have created a Symlink already for this environment library. This is using NX, uses libraries, and actually none of this code here is actually created from within this code base. It will allow me to edit this code and actually push it through, but none of this code here is actually managed. So that would be the second piece, which is that we've created this Stitch interface where the starter is created from the community, and the community has also created a library. So now if I want to bring in this library, I can just simply create a symlink, and none of this code is actually managed from the system. And we also have another piece, which is I'm able to say what feature does this depend on. So if I were to, for instance, to put in here, I can select and say that unless this prior code has been generated, do not allow this code to generate. So there are some mechanisms. So piece number one would be that you're always basing it off of starter code. So it already has some sort of North Star of how things should work. Number two is that we have mechanisms in place to make it so that people are usually building their code off of something else. Mechanism number three would be that we have this manual QA feature, which is that I'm able to mark something as QA'd. So the hope is that someone will actually test this code locally, and then it'll actually manually QA it. So you can actually see each one of these recipes has actually been manually QA'd by me. And because of this recipe system that we have, it's much easier to pick apart things and to isolate them and make sure that it actually works as expected. So that would be mechanism number three. And mechanism number four, right now, we don't have a peer review system. We're putting in a peer review system into Raspberry very soon. But what we plan on doing soon is that anytime someone wants to contribute new code into the Raspberry system, we're going to have our own peer review system. And right now, because we do not have a peer review system, I'll just show some of the Next.js stuff. Like right now, we're currently building this is our Raspberry community. By the way, if anyone wants to join, feel free to just reach out to me on Twitter, and we'll try and create some sort of community that you can join if you want. But right now, for the Next.js community, we have a convention in place for how to build on Raspberry. And part of that is that anytime that code is being contributed into the Raspberry system, we actually have a mirror GitHub code base where people will actually create a pull request. So for this one, we're currently creating a common styles library. So this person here is actually creating a pull request that we're proving this code actually works as expected, and then we go ahead and we merge into the Raspberry system. Of course, this is an extra step. Ideally, users would be able to just, within the Raspberry system, be able to have a peer review system, and we are going to put that in sooner than later. And then piece number five, that will be the finishing touch for this, is that we plan on having an in-web compiler, like similar to we're going to try and use one of the off-the-shelf solutions that Nodebox has, or web containers by Stackblitz, where if it doesn't compile within this web, then they won't be able to publish, or they won't be able to then make that peer review publication for that system. So between the mechanisms of everything, it's a very high quality thing. But right now, in order to keep up with the quality, at this relatively early stage that we have, we're pretty far advanced. Once again, 1.5 million lines of code, just to put into context. But right now, we have this system that we have in place for people to make a pull request first. and then we run it locally to make sure it works, and then we upload it to the Raspberry system, and then we mark it as QA, and then we go back ahead into the Raspberry system, and then we generate that code and we confirm that it's all compiling locally. So we have 2 or 3 steps that we can probably eliminate and make this all a lot more seamless. But right now we have that in place, and actually, anytime that a user joins Razru, we actually send them an email with this Medium article that gives guidelines on how to upload recipes and features to Razru. So if you were to create a brand new recipe on Razru, you'll actually receive this email giving you guidelines on how to upload recipes. And we have these 5 steps right now at the stage for this workflow. So yeah, that would be, we take it seriously. We run a tight ship. We make sure we have fun doing it. And like, for instance, this awesome design for Razru community that we made of this Razru wizard, which I'm a big fan of. So we like design and stuff like that, and yeah, that's part of how the system works. So
Wait, so okay, I know that there's AI that can be utilized within the system too.
yes,
Do you want to talk and show a little bit about that?
yes, the so the AI system. Let me go to something so I don't mess with any existing code here. Let's go over to the marketplace for cloud that we just created, Anthropic. It's actually funny. There's a lot of marketplace because they're all Angular. They'll begin with A, and funny enough, Anthropic's also A. It's pretty funny. Okay, so if we were to go over to Anthropic Cloud, I keep calling it Cloud. It's Claude, whatever. It's like German. It's like not going to do a German accent. Okay, so
Okay,
one
and
of
just a
the
heads up,
things here, so we have
there's
AI
okay.
in some places. One of them is that you're able to, for documentation, you're able to use AI to automatically create documentation. I think our npm doesn't have a whole lot going on, so actually let me go to our Next.js. 1 second,
And just a
excuse me
heads up
while I
that
swap
there's
out the
gonna
different org.
be an ad break in like 2.5 minutes. So I'm just letting you know. I've already snoozed it 3 times. It's not gonna let me snooze it anymore.
I'm sorry, my audio right now. I think because I'm streaming my Wi-Fi, I have so many computers going on right now that I think my Wi-Fi is just bugging out.
No, I just said there's gonna be an
Can
ad
you say?
break in 2 minutes. So I'm just
Oh,
letting
there's
you
going to
know.
be an outbreak in 2 minutes. Okay, cool,
Yeah, I can't. I've
cool.
been postponing it, but I can't postpone it anymore. So 1 minute and 58 seconds, and we'll have ads, and then it'll come back. So just letting
Oh,
you know.
okay, great. So right now we're inside of the Next.js. So we're currently building out Next.js components. And so we hope to have by the end of the month Next.js code that's available for people to set up, which we're excited about because most like what we realize with the Angular stuff is that even though we're saving corporations like $100,000, $200,000, they really don't care because it's a drop in the bucket for them and it's not worth their time to learn this new thing. But for startups, we're very excited to offer them Raspberry features, which we think they'll like a lot. And one of those is for Next.js, it's to just offer Next.js code. So boom. So there you go. So what I did right now is I used AI to create documentation. So what it did is that it took some of this Raspberry code and it piped it through this documentation, and it's structured in a certain way. So this is one part of the AI offering, which is that when you upload it to the Raspberry system, it automatically creates documentation. And we've had thoughts of having Raspberry as being an automated documentation tool. We're not quite there yet, but one of these days we'll use AI to extract. It will be able to recognize structure and hierarchies within a code base, and then the hope is that you should also be able to just have an existing code base that you want to upload into Raspberry, and Raspberry will dissect components and services and libraries and package JSON files and whatnot, and upload that into the system. So that would be number one, AI, which is
Okay,
documentation. Piece
pause
number
for a
two
minute.
is that, I'm sorry.
Well, pause for a minute because there's an ad now, and so we'll wait
Okay, great. Let's
until.
do an
But they
ad.
actually
Yeah.
came at a perfect time right before you were going to show. But I'm interested in the AI thing, and so the way that it
Yeah, I'm going to
works
go
is
ahead and stop sharing and
subscribers.
let that ad go.
Yeah, so subscribers can still see and hear us, but if they're not subscribed, then they have an ad right now. And so as soon as that's back, then we'll be good to go.
Cool.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off, but I didn't want you to cut off and then, no, half of the people don't hear it.
Yeah. So what
Um,
usually happens during an ad break? People still talk, or
I think that everybody can chat, but they
I
can't
am
see
kind of
you.
choppy
It's
though.
just like, yeah, you're
People are
choppy.
saying I am kind of choppy, so I
Yeah,
apologize.
I know it
Um,
happens. It's okay.
I have right now. I have three MacBooks open, and I have my iPhone. So I would imagine my Wi-Fi right now um, is kind of working hard. So
Yeah,
I'm
it
turning
I
off the
it
Wi-Fi
took
a
it
couple
took
of
me a
stuff
while.
right now.
I had to buy an Ethernet, like a really long Ethernet cord because our router is in the bedroom and we're in a rental house and there's no other like place the router and modem can go. So I had to buy that, and then I had to buy a Thunderbolt to Ethernet extender, like adapter so that I can go in my laptop, and that helped a lot. But like when I first was streaming the first couple, like it was really really bad. Like I was choppy like you are right now, but worse.
Yeah, Abe is saying that the audio is a little bit choppy. Let's see here. Am I still choppy?
You're actually not choppy
Question
right
mark.
now. There you go. You're actually a lot better.
Okay, great. Because I just turned off the Wi-Fi of two laptops and an iPhone.
You
So
are
I
not
just have it
choppy
going.
on my end anymore.
And right now,
And
okay,
all
great.
right, we've got
So
10 seconds. If you want to
okay,
screen
awesome.
share
Fine
again.
now. Good. Okay, great. So now the ad's off, and now we'll try again. Okay,
One.
awesome.
Yep, now try
Yeah, I'm
again. Yep.
actually, I never, we've spent so much time building out this Raspberry system that I always forget how interesting it is. So I wasn't expecting us to spend all this time and just
I was. I
understanding this.
like diving into this. It's, I've played a little bit with it. Hopefully I'm still an Astro community member because I need to play around with that more, and I use Astro like all the time
Hmm.
now.
This Twitch is now choppy once again for me,
That's
at
okay.
least the audio that I'm.
It's because you have the thing up, but I can hear you much better. That may be a little teeny tiny bit choppy, but you're okay. And I'll let me
Okay.
know if I'm
The
choppy now, but I don't think I am.
Okay. Um, okay, great. If anyone in the Twitch, just because I'm looking at this one screen I have in front of me, if it's choppy for anybody, mention it in chat and we'll work on it and make it a little bit better. So, okay, great. So that being said, so we were talking about the QA aspect. With
And
regards
the
to the
AI
AI
aspect.
aspect,
Yep.
um, yeah, one other piece here is let's go to a file that's supported. So the Raspberry system right now has this very like archaic low level method of modifying files, which is that it has the ability to just add these little like, code mods. Actually, let me refresh my page here. I'm not sure what's going on. So it has this ability to let's see, why is this file not loading? Okay, so it has the ability to add these little code mods where you can select like modifications to code that you want, and then you could decide what imports you want to add. So piece number two of AI is that we're in the process of adding AI into the system, or you can just take an existing file, and then that's there from a previous recipe, and then I can just go ahead and delete this, and then the system is going to uh, determine based on this modify code functionality what what code mods should be made. So that would be AI number 2. AI number 3 would be that we have the ability to generate scaffolds. So you can generate entire blocks of code, and the system will um, generate an entire component based on the name of that particular feature, and will also pack in code, yada yada. The AI code stuff that we have right now, to be honest, I'm a little bit less interested in for code, because the coding system was built 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, before modern day AI. So we're currently in the process of tidying up a bunch of stuff. But let's say I want to create also a fire truck component. This is another thing you can do within Razrio. And let's say Razrio doesn't have that code, so you can also use Razrio to say, okay, I want to build a Next.js fire truck component that's based off of Next.js, and then it's going to generate AI code within this system based on this component infrastructure. So yeah, those are some of the coding AI pieces we have. We also have a VS Code plugin, which I think will bore people, not because it's not great, but because it doesn't have the exciting AI features people have. That being said, if you do want an AI demo, that will be very exciting to see. And I'm trying to figure out why this isn't going through. It's been a while since, yeah, the coding AI stuff that we have right now, to be honest, is a little bit less interesting than
Yeah, and
the
I think
other
it's
stuff
taking a while because
that
you're
we have
choppy and so your
than the other
internet's
stuff that
not
we have
the
going on.
best.
So yeah, so there we go. There you go. So yeah, just create for me whatever this random code. It looks like an Iridata component. But then you're able to go back into the code CMS and you're able to update the AI code. So this right now is the beta release. But right now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to allow people to use AI to automatically just set up entire codes within Restream, and then they can just update it and then resend it over to humans. So once again, there's a little bit more work to do there. From a business perspective, we didn't have a lot of. It's a very competitive space right now. Coding, there's Codium, there's GitHub Copilot, there's Tab9. So when we're trying to present to people our solution, we didn't really find that many customers and users that wanted to use it. That being said, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to show off our Next.js, to use our new Raspberry ticketing system. And just to confirm, sir, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're just
Let's
a
see,
little
have I
bit
dropped
choppy
out here for
still.
a second?
Yeah, and then the fire truck
Confirm, people
behind you, we
hearing
can hear
me?
that too.
Okay, yeah. Okay, great. So the what I'm going to do next is I want to demo this ticketing system, to also show how is it that we allow everyone to coordinate. So all the members that are part of um, this Next.js community, if I want to go ahead and create a ticket, whoops, let me refresh this page here. If I want to go ahead and let's go back one, whoops, let's go back to the tickets page. So if I wanted to go ahead and, sorry, let's try that one more time. So if I wanted to go ahead and create a ticket, Raspberry also has this AI ticketing system to make it really easy to tell people like what to do, so you can have teams work together and contribute to the human collective intelligence. So let's say one of the things we want to work on is in this prompt, I'm going to say create a common styles library, or create a common UI library. Create a common UI library that can be used for create a common UI library that can be used for adding UI components. So create a common UI library using null NX that can be used for adding UI components. Okay, great. So this is the truly impressive AI piece. And once we wrap up this ticketing AI system, which currently it's going to be a marvel of AI, a lot of attention from a lot of existing ticketing systems. But once we wrap up this AI, we're going to go back over to code and we're going to wrap up the AI there, and then that's going to then be competitive, and then we're going to circle back over to design. Um, but for this, you can already see that the AI system's asking me follow-up questions. So I'm going to say Next.js, and let's just go ahead and generate. And now the AI is going to automatically create for me this ticketing system or this description that I can use. So we'll just wait another 2 seconds. There we go. So it's automatically created for me whatever my description. And now I'm just going to assign this over to one of our members that's going to use it. And then we're good to go. I can just go back and I'm just going to move this over to, let's say, in progress. And now that ticket's been moved over and goes to that person. So this is, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing, but just so we can discuss maybe a little bit more, maybe we'll get back to coding. And I think we're about to wrap up soon anyways. But the, yeah, exactly. Using AI to additional info and generate a ticket based on the script provided. Correct. This piece much better than I. Yeah. Okay, great. So you're, so with regards to the AI ticketing system, that's really impressive. And once again, it's the whole idea is that how can we get entire groups of humans to coordinate towards uploading their information into the system, making it really easy to integrate. So it's really important for us to have um, this AI ticketing system. So if I want to tell someone within the group, like, hey, create this Next.js library, let me just put in a prompt, have that ticket be created already, and just push it over. So it's perfect for the system. And there's a lot more to discuss there, but that's the truly impressive AI piece that we have because it's using cutting edge AI in multiple places, and it's also using real world data and extracting it from multiple places in order to build correct tickets. And then we'll can go back and tidy up code, and we plan on focusing on design next, and marketing and sales are also part of our roadmap. So we'll get there soon. We'll get stuff. So we didn't even get around to coding for Anthropic and AI, and we discussed more of the Raspberry stuff. But I guess it was fun. Um,
No, it's great. And you know
so
what? If you want to do a coding,
all right,
we'll do another stream at some point. Um and we can go over coding at that point. But the Raspberry system's really interesting. Like I've dug
yeah,
into
my
it a bit.
connection. I think my Wi-Fi is shot. I think it's choppy
Yeah.
the audio.
So, okay, so we're going to wrap things up. So, everybody, you can go to razru.com, I believe, right? That's the URL. Send them the URL and the link so they can. So, anybody can use the recipes now. You can add on to your own recipes based on what's already built. There's a ticketing system, and I'm not sure how to set up. That's a whole different conversation. And I know we have a bad connection, so I don't really want to get too much into that piece. But the Razru code generator is really awesome. I've worked with it a bit, and it does make things a lot faster. So everybody can use it. And Charlie, do you have any like last words before we wrap up this stream today?
Okay, great. Sorry about the technical issues.
That's
Um,
okay. It
that's
happens to
as
all of
part
us.
of, I guess, not being a Twitch person. That's sort of, I guess, one of the unexpected things that cropped up, which is that okay, I just need better Wi-Fi. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Um, okay, great. So, Sarah, thank you for the invite. This is great. I wish, once again, I had a better Wi-Fi connection. Maybe next time around, we'll look into maybe an Ethernet connection or something like that to make it a little bit better. That would probably make the most sense. In fact, I might even have an Ethernet laying around. No, I don't. So I'll grab an Ethernet connection for the next time I use Twitch to make sure that Wi-Fi is better. And yeah, once again, thank you for the invite, and we'll talk more via Twitter.
Thanks so much, everybody, for joining. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream now. Thank you so much, Charlie, for coming and sharing about Razru. And we'll do a follow-up for sure. Next time you'll have an Ethernet cord, so we won't be choppy. And have a happy rest of y'all's Friday, everybody. And I'm going to go ahead and end. And thanks for joining. Bye-bye.
Sorry if you said something and cut off.
Okay.
So,
No,
all right,
that's fine.
sounds like this is over, even though the audio. But I'm just going to drop off and talk more via Twitter, and I'll just apologize to people on Twitter for the technical issue.